Welcome back, awesome friends. So today is a lovely spring day in South Africa, and we are going to be trying a little bit of alcohol ink to color our lovely hearts that we've made. You can refer to a previous tutorial on how I made the hearts. And for those of you who saw the previous tutorial, I'll put the link below. You can see that I have now techniqued that section as well, re-inked it and buffed it, so it looks really cool. Alrighty, I just have a piece of scrap board underneath here to protect my craft mat, and I have a very old paintbrush where I cut the bristles short, so the bristles are about 1/2 centimeter long, and I use this paintbrush for my alcohol inks. So preferably when using alcohol ink, try and use 2 colors that you like. I find when you use only one color, it can get quite boring. And here we go. I'm using, what is this? Mermaid and turquoise. So they're both blues. And as you can see, it doesn't really matter if you go over the edge of your pattern or your die cut underneath. Don't be too panicky about that. You can see I'm a bit untidy. And now you will also notice that you're not getting the true color of your alcohol ink, and the reason being that the ink reacts to your black Sharpie that you've used. So I have tried to do the projects that I do with alcohol ink without using the black Sharpie, but I find that I actually like the way it reacts with the alcohol ink. It kind of makes the ink look a bit dirty and gives some depth to the project. The trick with alcohol ink is to use a little bit at a time because it evaporates so fast. So don't be in a rush. And here we go. Now, a funny thing that I have noticed is that when using the color red, I don't know if it's the pigment of the actual red ink, but red alcohol ink or inks that are red based seem to dry much slower than other colors. So it's just a bit of useless trivia for you. Okay, as you can see, I've gone over the edges. It looks a bit messy, but that's fine. We're going to let that dry. What I also did was I put a little bit of white marker on here and then put a dab of the ink. So when I've got my alcohol inks in my tin, I can immediately see which colors I want. You can see there. Clever, hey? Anyway, now using the same brush, I'm just drying it off a little bit. Please note I'm not cleaning it. I'm now working with a completely different color scheme. And that's actually okay. Because remember what I said to you? I like the depth. So here we are going to use cranberry and flamingo. The other thing is I only like Ranger inks. I find that the other inks do not give such a vibrant color like the Ranger inks do. Okay. And here we go again. And a little bit of the lighter color. And you cannot even see, using the same paintbrush that was not cleaned, you cannot even see the blue tone anywhere. And here we go again. So really not more than 2 or 3 drops of a color, and you've got to work pretty quickly to move the ink before it dries. And this paintbrush I have used, and I'm not exaggerating, for about 6 years. So I found previously I would try and clean the brushes with a bit of isopropyl alcohol, and it actually just destroyed the bristles, used to fall out. So now I don't do that. And you can see I'm touching a little bit of places because my brush is still a bit wet, and you will notice it's giving some little dots, which is also just a nice way to add some interest, although you're not really going to notice those little dots just now. You'll see. Okay, so we have done our ink. And we are going to let that dry. Now your alcohol ink must be dry. You can see this transferred onto my hand, so it is actually not dry enough. And if it's not dry enough, when you sand it, it becomes very dull because the little bits of dust from your sanding block actually stick onto the wet ink. So this one obviously will also not be dry. But what I'd like to do, if you can hold on one sec for me. Thank you. Had to just have a sip of water. Okay, I think that's still very wet, but this one seems to be dry, and you can see the mess. No worry to clean your hands. You just do so with some hand sanitizer. Okay, now once again using our sanding block, holding it horizontal, we are going to gently buff the raised areas. So all those little ink mistakes you thought you made, you're actually buffing off. And now you also notice why I like crumpling my metal tape when I use it, because you will see, look at the beautiful texture you've got on your heart. And the trick is not to over buff it. I just see there's a little piece of tape that I didn't smooth nicely. Now another trick that I wanted to show you is we've got a little hole here, and we want to push the hole in. I'll use a pencil from the front first, and then from the back, and then it seals the little bits of metal tape into the hole. Now you have these little edges that you might have leaked a bit of alcohol ink, sorry. We are just going to tidy that up, and all systems go. How beautiful is that? So let's do the one with friend. Yeah, I can feel it's dry. We're using the same technique, little circles, and I'm going to make a mistake just for you so you can see. So if you look, I kind of buffed the edge and I lost some of my color where friend is. So one would think, oh, I made a mistake there, but let me show you. There's no such thing as a mistake. I'm now going to deliberately buff all the edges, so it actually looks like that's what I wanted to do. How cute is that? So here we have friend. Now, if you really wanted to up this a little bit and make it look even better, you can take your Sharpies, your ordinary Sharpies, and you can hand color in some of the areas that you'd like to highlight on a doily or on an intricate die cut. Anyway, have an awesome day and give us a shout. Ask questions. Happy to answer them. Take care.